Most of these countries, like in Latin America, do not have ice, or if they have ice, it's very, very small and very, very limited. And so most of these players play roller. They arrive before the tournament, rent, probably a few days of practice ice and practice and get, in shape for ice. It's not that big of a difference other than, stopping and making your turns. But once you've had that experience, it's pretty quick. I'd say by the second practice, they're ready to skate on ice. And for the newer ones, it takes a little bit longer, but it's very similar and doesn't take a lot of practice to get used to. So within those practices before the tournament, they're able to, you know, adapt to the ice. Um, and one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is playing roller. Their legs are a lot stronger because there's a lot more friction on roller surface than there is on the ice. So they're pretty fast. So it's a matter of the long passes aren't allowed. It would be it's against ice hockey, but roller is a little different. Um, so, there's some things that they need to adapt to, but they practice all of that in their countries during their practices leading up to the tournament. And, at the end of the day, they all want to play ice hockey. The majority of them want to play ice hockey. And you had mentioned soccer. Yeah, soccer is always going to be the top number one sport in these countries. We're not competing against them, not even trying to, just like here in the States, the NHL is not competing with the NFL because, it's not possible. Um, but there is a large community and it continues to grow. And, just like it's not, it's similar to the US, but in a smaller stage, where, uh, there's a big community within the hockey community, and people in the hockey community, and one of the nice things about the tournament is the fact that we're able to put all of these different countries together. One of the things that I find really enjoyable during the tournament is the fact that whether it's at the hotel, at the rink, you see teams getting together with other teams and talking, and through social media you see that they've become friends and sharing things and things like that. And it's just helping grow the community. And everyone talks about what challenges they have in their countries. It's really cool to see how the relationships form on the ice. It's a battle and no one's friends, but you could see off the ice that there's a real camaraderie that's formed. And as the years have gone by, we've already had 6 tournaments. You could see teams that have bonded, and a lot of friendships made during the tournament. So now going back to the second tournament a year, 3 years ago, we started with the Dallas Stars. They reached out and wanted to see how we could work together to involve their Hispanic community in Dallas. And we worked together and put together the Spring Classic, and we had our inaugural Spring Classic in Dallas. It was actually 2 years ago. Um, and that was a huge success. Just got a little complicated with COVID on the second year. And, financially for a lot of these teams, it was really difficult, because we received money from the government. We weren't in lockdown for so long, but a lot of these countries were like in real lockdown, and like there was no going out, and they didn't receive money from their government. And so, a lot of people had, it was financially very difficult for them to make a second trip throughout the year, because remember, they also play roller hockey, and they go to the tours, several tournaments that are here in this Narch. state wars. So you'll be amazed at the amount of teams that travel from Latin America that go and participate in these roller hockey tournaments. So it's not just the ice. There are the tournaments that they participate in. So we're happy to say that this year, last year, the Vegas Knights reached out and we started talking to them about, how we can help them with their connect with their Latin community and do something that would raise awareness throughout the community that, Latinos do play hockey. And so we set up our Spring Classic, and that'll be held in Vegas March 19th through the 22nd. So we're really excited about that. And that's going to be two divisions. We're going to have the men's and women's division. So the one in Dallas, we started off with being the first one. We started off with a men's division, and it was really exciting. The championship game, I think it was Puerto Rico and Argentina, and it was a battle to the finish. And I think Argentina pulled it off, and it was a great game. And this year we have the two divisions, men's and women's, and we have four teams in each. So we're going with Argentina men's and women's, Colombia men's and women's, Puerto Rico men's and women's, and then we have Mexico men's, and then we have a select team with players from the Caribbean, Mexico, and Chile.
Wow.
So it's grown, and this last year, 2024, in the Latam Cup, we had 53 teams. And, that was a record for us. We had over 1,200 players. And I think that was 119 games in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, in 5 days. And it was a lot, but it was great. And this year I'm looking forward to having at least 65 teams this year. We're changing the format a little. We're going to go from Sunday to Sunday, but we have 8 divisions, and we're going to start the tournament off with 4 divisions: men's Division 3, women's Division 2, U14 and U12 will run from Sunday to Wednesday, and the championship games for the 4 divisions will be Wednesday night. Wednesday morning, we'll start off with men's Division 1, men's Division 2, women's Division 1, and U16. And those will run through to the following Sunday and end with championship games on Sunday. So, as soon as we have all the teams registered, and we're going to try and fit in a skills competition for the youth teams, which should be a lot of fun. And it's just been a great experience. I mean, we've had the Stanley Cup there that they brought from the Hall of Fame. The next year, we had all of the individual trophies: the Vezina, the Norris, the Willie O'Ree. We had, I think, 6 trophies. And then the following year, last year, we had the Eastern and Western Conference trophies. So it's been a really great experience. A lot of these players from these countries, don't have the opportunity to travel to to Toronto, to the Hall of Fame. So, seeing their faces, taking pictures with the Stanley Cup, and that was huge. And I just think that everything that we can do to keep raising awareness and growing the game is going to benefit everyone here too, and all of the NHL teams as well, because word gets around that hockey's going on in Latin America, and the people that live here hear it from their family members down there, and hey, what's hockey? And you know, I I strongly feel that that's going to have an impact here as well.
Can I ask for you have a lot going on for sure,
Yeah,
and
sorry.
uh,
That's
uh,
great.
you definitely yeah, paving a path, obviously. Like you said, your hockey's for everyone. That's what BW is aligned with as well, trying to give opportunity to train hockey and work with kids, whether they're, trying to improve or whether they're trying to get to junior hockey, college hockey, pros, or the NHL, just whatever their goals are. For your When you talk about men's and women's, is there an age range or average like that you require? Is there divisions of different ages, or is it junior kids that are playing?
Yeah, so we don't for men's division it's 17 and up. Okay. So the Division 1 are mainly the IIHF Development Cup teams. So they're all IIHF members. Argentina, Colombia, Puerto Rico, um,
Mexico as a
Mexico doesn't. They're
the
they're
oh,
um, they don't bring their IIHF team, but
that's
they're
right.
the
That's
Mexico
right.
Warriors.
Yeah.
And then Greece. Hopefully we get Liechtenstein to come out this year. They may be coming out. They reached out. Um,
Mhm.
so those are more of that's our like top division. So there is where we pay very close attention to rosters. No pros permitted on any of these teams in Division One. Well, in any division. So like we have a list like NHL, ECHL, NCAA D1, U Sports, and several other leagues that they have to be 2 years removed from that league in order to participate with the team because these teams spend a lot of money to come and play. Just to give you an idea, an airfare ticket from Argentina is like $1,500 per person. So we got to try and keep things as
Mm-hmm.
balanced as possible, and that's one of the hardest things, honestly. Every year when we're putting the tournament together is to make sure that teams are balanced and we don't have a team that just comes in and just blows everyone away. So like for the youth, it's a lot easier because you have single A, double A, triple A. And so because like teams in Colombia, they're not single A even, or we expect them to be at least at single A level. So the teams like Puerto Rico, which they're basically heritage teams, they live here and they've been playing on ice their whole life, right? So we have a classification of heritage and classic teams. So Argentina, Colombia, Mexico, Chile, those are all classic teams. So if they have two or three players that their parents are from one of those countries and they happen to be a double A player, they can play. But like Puerto Rico, all of their players can be single A, but they can't have any double A or triple A because then you know just imagine a whole single A team playing against a complete team from Colombia that, you know, plays roller. I mean, they already have a big advantage. They've been playing ice their whole life.
Hmm.
They probably have never played roller. So that's kind of how we balance out the youth. With the adult, it's a lot more difficult. So, it's you know, honestly, we've been lucky that we've had very good teams and honest teams that have said, we've watched some of the games and we feel like we should be in a higher division. Because I mean, if you really understand hockey, the real diehards, they don't want an easy game. They want to compete, right? So, the ones that want to take advantage of the system and, just to get a championship, well,
Hmm.
they'll only be able to do that one year, then we know for the next year. And, we keep track of all the players. We have a database of all the players that have played in the tournament. And, because it's important, we require all the teams when they submit their rosters that they have to unless the player played for them the year before, they have to submit their birth certificate and proof of, their heritage or that they were born in that country. And, it's not like we take people's word for it. We do keep a record of that and they have to submit that. Um, and so, it's a lot of work, but it's one of the things that we have to do to try and keep things balanced. And I just give you an example, like Algeria, the first time they played, which was 2 years ago, we put them in, or it was last year. No, not last year, the year before, in 23, we put them in Division Two, and they really went through Division Two pretty easily. So at the end of the tournament, we were talking about like, okay, Algeria is not playing in Division Two; they're going to be up to one, right? So, but before I could even talk to them, they came upstairs and said, "Hey, like I think next year we'd like to be in Division One." I'm like, well, you don't have a choice. You're in Division One, so. But things like that, and Armenia as well. This year we'll be moving into Division One as well,
Wow.
because of their record last year in the in Division II. So, that's kind of the hardest part, is figuring that out with all the teams. But we've been very lucky that the championship games have almost every single game that we've had in every single division has been very competitive, and that's really what we want to see. And we want the players to feel like they had a battle to get the win. And um, yeah, I mean it's that's the challenging part, but that's something that we deal with every year, and I think we're getting better and better at it.
Yeah, that's great.
And plus, I think that the teams also don't want to ruin the tournament, because they're like comments that I've received. It's like it would ruin the tournament, and no one wants to ruin the tournament, because everyone really enjoys it and wants to see it continue to grow. And who knows where we're going to get to. And our goals are huge for Latin America. We want to see, NHL, Latin America, a division of the NHL. And, because, why can't there be a superstar come from Latin America and make it to the NHL one day? And, it takes a long time to develop a player. So, we got to start planting those seeds. And, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, we may have a first generation player from Latin America, and not where we're trying to go through ancestry.com to see if there's some Latin in their family history or something. And so that's our goal. And like I said, these kids love this game as much as we do, or more. And they follow the NHL on a daily basis. And it's amazing the passion that they have for this game. So
yeah,
it's really a lot of fun to put
I'm
this
sure.
to
I'm
make
sure
this
everyone
tournament
not
available.
only enjoys the tournaments and that stuff, it's also they're proud, right? They're probably representing the country, or what teams they're playing for, and themselves, and they
Absolutely.
build up.
Absolutely.
When you have something starting from the ground up, they want to be part of it, and yeah, like you said, they want to grow it, and
Yeah.
that's through competition. And